Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another Woodworking Wisdom. So, I'm Jason, but I think you might know that by now. This afternoon, now before we do that, let's do the weekend I've just had. I need to thank a few people. So, I've just done Mid-Atlantic Woodturning Symposium, which was held in Atlanta, Lancaster. That would be a better word in the States. So, thank you for a great weekend. All right. Thank you for all those guys that came up, said hello, we're watching the videos, we're really enjoying. Makes me feel worthwhile. All right, so it's really nice to meet all those people and lots of good feedback. All right. So today, nice short project. You've had lots of big projects lately. I mean, Colwyn's bowl with a rim and my hand planing session. It took me 2 days. Yeah, it took 2 days to do that little board. So now you've got an idea. Okay. So today, something quick, easy, and simple to do using up some of those little offcuts. What more could you want? So today, we're going to do the tippy top. What? Tippy top. So the tippy top, Ben, I think we better go to camera 2. So Ben's doing the camera work. Is these down in here? Look, okay. So the tippy top in reality is a type of spinning top. Okay. Maybe, Ben, I think we go to 3. Look, if I can get my hand position. Okay. It is based on, if I go come back, based on a spear. So you need a ball, something to grip. We've got to hollow it. And I know when I first looked at these, a little bit daunting. So I'm going to cheat, going to make it easier, give you an idea of. Now, major thing with tippy top, and it's an amazing thing when you look at them, when you spin them and then they invert, if you get it right, it then seems to spin in the opposite direction if you think about how it works. Now, this was originally invented by a German lady, from what I can find out, in 1898. So it's been around for quite a while. Physicists have tried to explain the aspect that it reverse spins when it inverts, but still problematic. They still can't figure this out totally. So our spinning top will hopefully, and that's why we've got the board on here, if I can get to work. And my board's a bit tricky to work with, you know. Ben loved this earlier. We tried to get all 6 spinning in one go. But you get the idea. Look, they will invert. So this is our aim, okay? Let's clear the decks. Time to go to work. Too much playing. Put them out of the way. Let's put our board. Now, we needed the board. If not, they danced across the floor. Bring the 8 bits in. So we need, first of all, I suppose, a couple of things. What do we want? Which bits should we have? Going to go with that one. We want something as a drive. So I've got 16mm Pro drive. And really important, tailstock ring center. We have a piece of ash. So you don't have to have anything expensive for this. You could make them out of some nice expensive woods, but something nice and cheap will be good. This is, from memory, 125mm long by about 40mm square. Just checking I'm central. Pretty good there. Check the tailstock in. That looks good. Bring that in. Lock it off. Okay. First thing done. Let's have roughening gouge. Straight cylinder. So speed, we're up to just over 2,000. Handle down low. Make contact with the bevel. Turn it up. And I'll whiz along. A little bit of body movement you can't see, so I'm shifting my weight between right and left feet. We want nice straight cylinder. A little bit to go, look. You're getting that little bit of noise. That'll do. So first stage, nice and quickly done. We need a feeding tool, set calipers. Now this looks a bit big for our top. We're going to do the aspect, a couple of other things that we need to reverse it and hold it with. So using the same piece of wood. So I'm just setting up the chuck jaws. So we just literally measured the diameter. We're going to use a set of O'Donnell jaws. These are the 38mm ones. We need to create a tenon, one end to hold in the chuck. So tailstock end got more access. And I know I don't need a lot off this. A little bit more. Now we're going to make this longer. So I've probably gone 2 cuts of that is 9.5. nearly 20mm long, 3/4 of an inch as a long tenon. Instead of doing a short spigot that will fit into the dovetail jaws, trying to leave that nice long length here. That will hold better on the straight section inside these jaws. So the more length I can have, the better to hold it. Just checking a few things. Got a weird sensation having just picked this up. I'm not really ignoring you. Just getting and checking the jaws are tight. That's good. Just felt like I had a loose bolt in one. Change a few things about. So we can take those out. Gonna put that chuck on. We need key, a little bit of ash will fit nicely down in there. That looks good. Quick spin just to check it looks pretty central. Okay. At this stage, as much as I took it out, let's just bring that back into play. That tailstock ring center will just help stabilize things and it won't penetrate too fast. That'll be good. A little bit of pressure. Okay. Now on here, going to do a beading cut. One, second one. So this is 20mm. I could probably come down just a little bit smaller. That's better. So at the moment we've reduced the stem. We're giving us a handle length at the moment about 20mm. We might make it a little bit shorter, but that would be good. Now, as I said to you, if I reach one, the shape of this needs to be a nice spear-shaped ball. So I can kind of cheat a little bit. So first thing we want to know, what diameter do we have? There you go, that's good. How about we have our pencil and we mark it out just as a ball. And there. Let's have parting tool. Got to be one up here. There it is. Now our parting tool. Going to do 2 cuts. Come down to about halfway. Let's take a little bit close. Put that back. I then want spindle gouge up on here. Now this is good practice to try and turn a ball. So how about we find the middle? It's about there. I can rust the bevel. Got the chip slightly outside. Gently come round. Now the trick with this is almost equal movements, and I'm watching the top shape, far side of the lathe if you like, which is coming round towards you. One side, other side, we can roll it to make contact with the bevel. Gently up. Gently come round. So now, and again, this is like I said, a good practice for turning a ball by eye. Put my hand underneath, hopefully you'll see it a bit better. I'm looking at my shape. We have a little bit of a flat still in the middle. We've got to lose that. Got to come down to here, extend it. Not quite right. If anything's a bit long, I've got to blend it into our handle so we can take a little bit more. The left-hand side on here, not too bad at the moment. That shape looks quite good. We know we've got extra material down here. This side I need to play with. So that quick visual check can be good. I've still got roughening down spot I've got to get rid of, which is why you'll see that little round dot. So we've got to lose that as well. So all these little things, just a quick visual check. So back to that spindle gouge. We can rest the bevel. Just feeling that bounce there, which is trying to get rid of the untrue surface from where that spot was. Nice and slow, not power feeding with the gouge, just running it gently. That's done. So drop the handle again, gently come up, find our shading. Tilt it so the flute's back at about 2 o'clock. We're driving it round slowly. One side done. Again, have another good look. I'm taking my time with this because I make this look so simple to turn a ball. So this side actually looks more uniform now. Other side, I have a small step. And there, little dots still to get rid of. Looking a little bit imbalanced. So this side, we rest the bevel again. So we drop the handle, the gouge, we gently raise it, find our cut. As you drive round, we take the flute more on its side, eject it, get it down a bit more. So we just take a little bit of clearance. That's not bad. Nice and gently. Looking at our shape again. Quick off, let's have a quick look. Just grabbing our parting tool off the wall behind me. Next thing we start to do, just double check with our calipers. Don't want to go too thin on the headstock end. Diameter, we've lost a little bit. No, we're not bad there, so I'm checking our length. Equals our diameter. So I've gone right from the step there and I've got a little bit more. That's not bad, that's pretty equal. That's a good way of just measuring that out and having a quick look. Okay, so parting tool one in a minute. Now, let's just take the tailstock out. So we need the knockout bar down on there. Get the ball out my pocket behind me, got one there. So get the bigger one, might show more. All right, so bags right. Got to come in. Now in here we've got our ball shape. We can do some black lines later. We've got this recess bit inside. That's quite important. We need to lighten the weight of it, almost below center point. So if I grab the board back and we put it on here, if we put the top on here and I roll it, look what happens. It's always going to come back to that weight point in the bottom. Even with that handle length, it needs to sit dead upright. So no matter which one of these I put on, so that comes down to that hollowing inside. So let's move them. Now to do the hollowing was a little bit daunting when I first started thinking about this. You've got a weak section here where your ball joins that stem. Not that weak at the moment, but going to vibrate a little bit. You've got to cut on here, and you're actually quite small diameter. So it tends to want to pull the chisel round as you're cutting, dragging on that center point. So we could make it easy. We're going to go drill chuck. And then I'm really going to cheat. But modern day things. So I've got some plug cutters. Right, use these loads for different things. You've used these and you've seen me use them for different videos. So really useful. We can use them on the lathe. So I'm going to start, I think this is 20 mil. It is. All right, so we can have that there. Do I need a 20? Yeah, we'll go with that. Now what I do need to think about, how deep do I want to go? Now we've just said we need to go about halfway. So I'm just looking at it and I can sight it, holding it up. From my point of view, I'm just going to draw a pencil line. I can see it on there. You could put some masking tape on. The write-up I did for this, we put a little bit of masking tape on. Now, if I can have the drill slightly on its side, I can see where my pencil line is to the top of that stem. Let's take the speed down. We've moved the tool rest out as well, so we've got a bit more control getting here. Nice slow speed is good. I've made sure the drill bit's sharp with a little diamond file. So this is 20 mil. I've come down to my line. One, and yeah, I know it's lazy. I can go same on there. I can see my halfway. I've got still the ball a little bit. It just speeds it up. Let's bring that back a little bit. Or we're going to run out of thread on the tailstock. Bring it back up. as well. Turn it off, the noise. I'm going to bring it back. Got 1 to go. So we've gone 20, 15, down to 10. Now you could even do, and I've done one up on here actually that's got a false stem. So I put a piece of dowel in after. You could actually drill the centre out totally with a Forstner. Get it tight, that's better. So this side is now going to give me the stem diameter of 10mm. Just looking inside, coming down to there. That feels good. So let's say, kind of cheating, but makes it quicker. Just moving the tailstock back now so we can get in better access in here. So we've got our stem. Now, I doubt you'll see it. In the end here, it's a bit of a mess. We've got a different step there. Nothing too bad. My stem, I can see, I think it's going to be too long. So to get in to clean up, little beading tool, 1/4 inch. And this is where I made the mistake on the first one. Like I said, I actually set the tool rest trying to come into here with the chisel, do it all in one go. I caught in underneath the stem, just that little bit low with the tool rest, so be warned. It flicked it over and pinched down. You got to remember the chisel point is still in here. So now we have the black blister on the end of my thumb. All right, so you've been warned, try and look at where the drilling out operation saves a lot of time. Got to be level, we want a bit more speed. Right, so all we're trying to do now is just clean out the steps from those 3 drill points. A little bit to go. Have a little look, that's good. Checking where I've got my edge. The weird thing with my beading tool when I've sharpened it, it's got a burr on the top edge. You're always going to get if you play with a grinder. So I can use that burr to give me a nice cut. A little bit to go. Should be enough now. And that's just about cleaning up that material down inside. Next thing, our stem. If you think about how this is going to invert, we got our ball shape, we need that to come up. Our stem at the moment is too long. It's a hell of an angle to come off from that center point as it rolls onto this. We need almost to continue as far up our curve so I can come up to there. So what I'm doing is projecting the pencil around the side to look at where our curve projects up to give you a step. Uh-oh, Ben's got his hand up. Uh-oh. You're going to have to cup of tea then, weren't you? I could see it. You're thinking about going, then you're going to have to go with the other hand. I'm sorry. Right. Okay, Con, what have you got then?
So we got a question from Artful Bodger. They're asking, could the current ball end be turned to a finial end so that it starts there and then flips over? Also, how about a point on the peg end?
We haven't got to the point on the peg end yet. I know you don't want a point. That's one thing that's quite important, right? We'll get to. So with your ball, yes, it's going to flip over. Okay. Some people are saying, could you turn it the other way around? But that's more difficult to hollow, if that's what you were getting at. Right? You've got to be able to lighten this. So the only way I can get into here is obviously that little bit. Okay. So we've got to be able to get access to here. We could drill it out with a Forstner and put a piece of dowel in. I did that with one. So I've lost them all in my back pocket. That's what smokes are for, you know. You carry these around with you. Which one is it? This one. And I doubt you see it on the camera. But I got a bit carried away with my drilling. Well, you'd think I'd be good by now with it. I went all the way through. You wouldn't think I'd... So you could do them in 2 parts and insert it out. So this has got a bit of beach dowel. Easier to drill out. The plug cutters make that quite easy to do, though. Okay, Ben, what have you got?
So Jim said he'd done one, but did it the other way round and parted off on the handle.
Right,
Excuse
okay.
me.
Yep.
How would you get in there? Would it be like a hook tool
I can't see how you're going to hollow it down inside.
No, right.
And you've got to be able to lighten it enough for it to spin.
Yeah,
That's part of the thing. So this bit about having approach from this end is so important in reality. All right. So yeah, it's quite an important part that we can hollow inside it. Okay.
Could you, and Artful's just come back and said, could you put a point on the ball end, or would that
No.
change
Okay.
the...
That's another important thing. If I leave a point on here, I need that spear to continue all the way around. If you put a point, it will operate like a normal spinning top and it will not invert. And believe me, that's trial and error. Okay, why won't it flip over? You don't think these videos just happen, do you? We've had to practice. I mean, do you not think that this is getting to that? Okay, so, sorry. You should know me by now. All right?
And then a question just in from Anthony. He's asking, what was the name of the bit that you used to drill?
These are classed as, I think, really as a plug cutter. I did put a link on the bit, the other one I'm missing that is in the drill chat. That's why. All right. So now you can get matched sets of these with a Forstner and the plug cutter. So normally you use them to plug, and I actually use them loads at home. And what we're doing sort of now, I use them a lot on the lathe. I find them really useful for making dowel sizes, particular lamps. This is beautiful. It's given me a nice 10mm diameter handle all the way down through, easier than hollowing with the chisel. Like quick and simple to do. So a set of plug cutters really useful. They have sharpened edge, so we can bring diamond file up the edge here, across the back. Keep the speed low, puts you more in control. You don't burn the material, you don't burn the drill bit. Now it lasts longer. Not rocket science, this is it. Okay, right, good. So we got those. So at the moment, then we got our ball shape pretty good. Now I've been a bit lazy because normally those guys that have been watching me, well, I haven't been lazy. I'm trying to do it the hard way because you might all have this. I might use my pipe cutter. So the guys that watch me regularly do the balls, we did the owl. I use my pipe cutter. I could skim the surface. Now I've taken that step off. No, I'll probably go freehand. Leave it like it is. It's looking quite good. I've got a little bit of alteration to do. So we're now going back up to our stem bit. Okay, so we started to say about this. We've got a pencil line. I'm trying to project where that curve's going to be able to flip up round. So at the moment, I'm a bit too long. So on here, what should we go? I'm going to go parting tool. Let's see how much noise it makes. We could have even gone little handsaw. Right, so let's take that off. We didn't need all that. We need to clean this end up. Now, this is going back to a couple of those questions we've just had. This doesn't need to be a point on the chip. It actually is better being domed. It's really weird. Other thing we can do, which we're going to sand it anyway, I can soften the corner a little bit. That helps it climb up onto that. That's good. I'm going to be really lazy now. I've got a little bit just to get on here. So I'm going to just shear straight my skew just to bring the shape together. That's quite good. Just refining that top bit. I want to extend our shape a little bit. So let's create a clearance cut. More noise now because we haven't got the tailstock in. No, I'm just checking my shape, looking at it visually. Almost like you guys are. That's better if I bring my hand in. I think you can see the ball shape looks better now. On my hand, you get the lathe bed. Okay. Trick for that at home, bit of white paper. If you have problems seeing that profile, try doing something like that. Something just in underneath will be really good just to highlight. Okay. All right. We've done the hard work now. We're going to do a quick sand. So what we got? We've got some 1.5 doing it. Let's go 240. Let's bring the extractor just in. Turn the speed down. Just going to turn the air on. Just softening that corner. So that's the drill edge, just to lose that sharp edge. This is the 240 grit. Diming that in, but quick check, how's that feel? That's not too bad. Go get a bit of 320. See if we can get down inside to if you fold it. Just clean that out a little bit. Quick look, that looks okay. So we've sanded our shape up, fingertip. We've got that dome on this end, on the handle end. That's important. Don't go up to a point it will not work. All right, it's really weird. This stage, I'm going to part this off. Nice thin little bit, just checking the parting tool wasn't going to roll on the floor then. So up to there. Now, at this stage now, this is going back almost, Ben, to one of your questions. I've got just a tiny little point. We could try and spin it, but I'll give it a go if you like. I don't think it will work. Well, let me phrase that another way. Hang on, Ben, let me do this. So I don't want it to work. We need to reverse it, okay? So you get that question we had about if you leave a point on the bottom like it'll work like a spinning top. It won't invert. Isn't that weird? Okay, even if I could be chasing around the floor in a minute on the camera. Right? So we know that works, but it won't go past. Back in, there, other way, that there. I tell you guys, until you played with cameras, we'll never understand. You've got to do the opposite direction of what you think when you're moving things. So we've at the moment just got a little bit too much of a point on the tip. It spins beautifully as a spinning top. Just not what I need. Come on then, Ben, what have you got?
I got a question here from Jim, which I don't really. I think controversial.
I've got to get my focus right. Sorry.
Frederick's asking, can you flare the handle, or will as a little design feature, or will it unbalance it? I.e., does the handle have to be straight?
Right. Okay. It's a good question because actually on some of these, I've actually got that's got a bit of a taper. I hope you can see it. But I then started doing them straight, and they work just as well. So you could create a taper on the handle that'll have more lightness to the top. That can be good, but it's a lot more work. You're trying to get the parting tool down the side of that handle, get it clean. Whereas if I go just with the drill, gives you quite a good effect. Okay, so either will work. Right, at the moment we've got to make sure I'm not cheating. Okay, this is the same one we're working on, I promise. Right, it's got the step. Right, okay, we now need to get rid of this. Get it clean. I'm going to put it up on the headstock just for a second. We're going to use this. Now, at the moment, it's too long. So, simple thing like parting cut. Now, we're going to do something weird. Let's give you a bit of, no matter what I part off, I try and get the tool rest nearer. I could even actually, with what we've got in here, would do the same as this. I would actually swap tool rest and go with something shorter. The shorter it is, the nearer you're working to the centre stem, the more stability I've got. So the more out on the end, the more flex. We're going to do 2 cuts. I'm not going to do one, that will bind on the side of the tool. So parting off a goblet, a box, whatever, I would do that approach. Okay? And there's weird little things to throw in it. Yeah, I'm going to catch this before it bounces off around the room. We then, for my scenario, what we're going to do with this, need to make a V in the middle. A bit like an engineer would do with a centre drill. Let's move that tool rest out of the way. We then want the drill chuck and a drill bit. Now the drill bit I've got on here from memory, I think is 1/2 mil smaller, or it might be exactly the same size as our stem. So in reality, and I'll tell you I can match it, I can show you exactly in a minute and I'll answer my question. So by doing that little V, that helps guide that drill in nice and accurately. If I left a step, it's going to cause more problems. We go all the way through. Okay. Let's take this out. I'm going to get the smaller plug cutter, which we used on the drill bit. So it's 1/2 mil smaller. So 10 mil is a plug cutter, 9.5 as a drill, okay? Now, at this stage, I'd normally go and play with a handsaw. So you've got this, okay? You then want to cut it, right? Easiest way to do this is put it in the vise on your bench, handsaw down to the hole. Don't try and go through your bandsaw. It's a little bit precarious to hold. You could possibly put a G-clamp on it, but the pressure once you go through will cause it to pinch on the blade. So just a handsaw is just as easy to do that, okay? I've even got a couple of them, all right? So what are we going to do with this? Our top going to fit into our hole. This one fits tight. Let's see if the other one then's a bit bigger. That's better, all right? Okay. We can then put this into the chuck jaws. Now we can hold it so we can get to the bottom. So we can lose the point so it become a tippy top, not a spinning top. Right, now I need to clean up a little bit there. Blend that in, checking my curve continues nicely, pretty good. All right, good. We can go to our brazier. Let's put the air on. I've got one other job to do to this, which is a bit bigger. So but we've moved the banjo back out the way. Okay. So at the moment, I've got one other big thing I want to do to it in a minute. This thing's got to get it out of our little chuck. So our little collet chuck, or whatever you want to class it as, works beautifully. Next thing, I want to just check it works. Look at that. So that little point, wow. All right. So that works beautifully. Okay. And like I said, the weird thing, if you consider it spins that way and then it flips over and it's going around the same way. How? You've spun it there, it goes over and it's still... That's weird. Okay. It seems to reverse direction. Now, I sort of want to do one other thing. So let's just hold it back in there. That makes me feel good knowing it actually works. Even Ben looks shocked at that. So, next thing. Little brass bristle brush. All right, let's work around it. I was toying with the idea of what to do with this. Got a couple of tests we're going to do, okay? So at the moment, just working with a brush. Let me do this, Ben, because then I can do the next stage and give it just 30 seconds while I answer you, probably. So let me get the brush done. I have noticed. This is Ben's pyrography brush, don't tell him. This one's a bit heavier. All right, so brass bristle brush. Now, you could add some decoration to this, but whatever you add has got to keep that contour. So if you go with something that's going to make a deep groove in it, it might affect how it's going to run, reverse, and whatever else. Okay, so we've just done that. Now, on the ones I've got in my pocket and on the write-up, we didn't use a finish. Why? Kids are going to play with this, so I'm trying to keep it as non-toxic as I can. Now, this one, let's add a bit of colour. Someone's going to ask him, what have you got in here? You really want to know? Blues Household Dulux paint. Thin just a little bit. Wire brush. So this is going to give us something as a livening effect. Gently come round. Up to the top. To there. There you go. Right, let's clean that out to there. Right, Ben, I haven't forgotten, I promise, all right? That gives us a blue-limed effect. Clean that off. Just going to let it dry. Right, what have you got?
So a couple of questions here. Artful's asking, why not just use a centre drill when you're...
I'm not an engineer. I don't have a centre drill. I've got a point of a skew drill. So my skew chisel will work nicely flat on the tool rest just to create that little V. It's a fair enough question, but I don't have center drill. And I mean, to do center drill, I've got to find a drill chuck. I know I've got the drill chuck for the drill bit. I know, okay. But in reality, no, I don't have a center drill. Maybe it's something I ought to look at. And I was looking actually the other day, we've got some on offer at the moment. I was kind of, should I buy some center drill? It'd be nice to use. So yeah, that is something. All right.
Then Robert's asking, could you use pin jaws to reverse it?
You could. Now your pen jaws I've got to think about now. Ben, you've got the pen jaws. We've got two. They're flat inside.
Oh, to the pin jaws. So
pin jaws possibly you could. You might. It depends on the inside face will mark it, but nothing funny. How difficult is it to make a piece of wood? All right. I tell you, making the piece of wood and drilling the hole in it and cutting a slot in it, it's easier than trying to position it on the camera location. Okay, so you can drill it and just cut that groove down through. So easy to do, and you only need one. And look after it. If you do your handles the same size, and that's the beauty we're using the plug cutter drill, everyone will end up the same. You could batch run these. You could tie some string on them, hang them on the Christmas tree for Christmas decorations. Oh no, already we're in October nearly. Okay. Or you could use them as tops, right? But you can see how simple that is to make. Right? I think if you go with things like the pin jaws, whatever else, I'd use the spigot jaws we use quite a bit. I'd have to put the hose pipe I've done on them to make them soft, or they're going to mark that handle, which I don't want. All right, so it's nice that they're left like that. Okay, Ben?
And then Frederick's asking, are there any size limitations? Or how small have you made one?
I've got. Frederick, I've just gone off on a tangent. I've got different sizes I've made. All right, so this is probably 45, 50 mil. This started as 40. Biggest thing, you've got to be able to spin it with your fingers to twist it. The handle can't be massively long because obviously that reversal stem of flipping over. So don't go going too big. And if the kids are going to play with them, you don't want them massive. But I mean, 2-inch would be a nice size. I haven't tried a 3-inch one. It could be interesting, but that would be good. Now, just looking, I need a little bit of wax. So I'm just going to go and find the only thing I didn't get out. So while you guys are still listening, I've got to go to our cupboard. Half our waxes are in there. That's what I want. That one. Okay. Sorry. I've sort of toyed around with, and I've got one other thing still to do to this. Next stage at the moment, chuck key. Let's move that back along. Get our chuck key back in. We can take the whole thing out. Now, the good thing we're doing the questions like we've done. Right. Set that blue up nicely. We've got that limed effect. I'm hoping you can see that bit on the camera. I might be able to come up a bit more. Get it to focus on my hand. Thinking you can see the grain pattern. So you can still see that. So it looks quite nice. Right? You could do any colour you get household painting. Bit of a cheap way of making a liming effect, but it works. Okay. Also, no tear out on there. That's good. Our handle is still ash at the moment. Going to put that back in. Got to line up our grooves and turn it round. I want to push it all the way back down. Seat it level at this stage. Bring our speed up. Cut a groove. Another one. We'll do one more. So you could use a centre drill for doing the end, but you can't. You've got to have a Jason Breach skew to do that. All right. So let's take our speed back up. So this is the Easy Wood black line burners. So the burning kit. I want to add a couple of black lines just on there. And then we need tin opener so I can get into the wax. Want a bit more than that. So this is a soft paste wax. Got to just bring that back again. You could put an oil on. You can't do a cellulose sealer on top of that paint unless you spray it. And then it's not too bad. So you could use an aerosol can lacquer would work. So we've got a little bit of wax on the top and on our lines. Bring that round. How's that feel? Quite good. Got more wax on me than on the ball now. Let's have that back out. Take that out. So you can see that little chuck. So simple to do. And easy to hold on to. Fits in the set of drawers. Now, the reason for going longer here, first of all, was that chuck bit that we've just done. So that initial setting up and drilling and marking out, I said you made a 20mm spigot. But actually adds more support. It's gripping further down in the chuck. We've got the face edge resting on the flat on the face of the jaws. Gives more stability. If I hold on a really small dovetail and we're working out the end where we were hollowing with that little beading tool, pull it out of the chuck jaws if you're not careful. So a little bit more strength in here where it fits down further, so much better, especially on the O'Donnells there. We've got that deep section, so we might as well use that, okay? Let me just shift things about. Ben's got his hand up again. Let's move that into there. I'm going to bring that back up to here. Right, what have you got then, Ben?
So Dances with Aardvarks, he's having I think he's having us on. He's saying, could you make one with a sphere at both ends so it doesn't know which way to spin?
I've seen another design. If you start Googling this sort of thing, I have seen one where it actually has, and it is more that shape. 3 balls together. Okay? And that will spin and they dance up on end. But we'll work on that one. Let's get this one right first, and we'll do some others, okay? But you can do. There's a whole variety of different types that we wouldn't have thought about, okay, Ben?
And then we got a question from the gentleman woodturner. He's asking, will you be making them next weekend at Mid Cornwall Woodturners?
What am I going to be making next weekend, which is on the 7th down in Cornwall? We will do some of my weird and wonderful boxes. Going to do what's classed as a wobble box. I might do a pagoda. I've got to do something simple. We could do a wobble top if you like, a tippy top. But we'll have a look. But some of the box stuff really, okay? So if you're down that way, come and see me, okay? We will be there. That's down in Probus, all right? So good weekend down there on the Saturday, right? All day. So that's Mid Cornwall Woodturners, right? So we'll do some of the boxes, but we're going to do some simple stuff. I've been back to Richard and kind of, you know, he said, could you do something just, you know, we've got some new members as most club have. So I'm going to do a variety, some simple and some more extravagant stuff. Right, let's give it another go. Hey, I'll tell you one thing. That's a good one. Okay. The trick now is I'm up to 7. I don't, 6 now. You kind of get the idea. You can play battle tops with this if you really like. So if you each make one, you can try and spin them on something flat. They will work. You can see the aspect of what we said about today's, how that balance thing is such an important part. We showed you that little point that we had, and that was one of those questions. And I know when I first did one, it won't work. Why not? Got a little bit of a point. Okay, so I've got to reverse it. How am I going to do that? Now, you could do this sander, but isn't that nicer? Quick and easy, and you get that uniform shape all the way around just to grip it, right? So that little half a mil difference between 10 and 9.5, this will spring out a bit. You could probably go with a 10 mil. If you haven't got 9.5, you cut your slot. It will close down just enough, like I call it, pinch it and hold it. So, and then you keep that in that little box of wood that you don't want to throw away. All right, I've got a whole box of different jam chuck bits that I keep for certain projects. That the only problem then is you won't remember what it's for in 2 years' time. So it's that. All right, but simple to do. Hopefully, guys, you've all enjoyed today's little session. I know it's a simple little project, something a bit more fun. I mean, like I said, there's hand planing for 2 days was quite extravagant for me. All right, but I looked at these and I've wanted to make a TP top for years. I never had the guts to have a go. So now you know how simple that is. The plug cutter thing works fantastically to clean up and get that groove down in there. I think you can see that on the overhead. Let's just have a quick look, Ben. I know you're getting ready for me to sign off and go. Look, all right, so you can see down in there, it's quite clean, easy to get to, hollows it out. It means you can have the handle and everything all in one. on a lime blue effect. I reckon that works quite nice. The black lines just add a bit more. All right, so different scope. Okay, back to bone. All right, so hope you enjoyed. Hope you like this. If you have, subscribe. Tell your friends. They might want to make a cheapy top. Okay, I will see you next time for more woodworking wisdom. Thank you all very much for joining us. Bye then, guys. Bye.